It's crazy to think that for 9 months, I existed inside another human being. The same heart that is beating in me as I speak was beating alongside my mama's each and every week. And my only food was the food that she ate, and when she would be nude, I would still be covered. Her body was my shield, her breathing was my comfort. She carried me for 9 months, a body inside a body, as she struggled to make ends meet in a new country. Papa would work every night till his eyes would droop, and Mama would take classes at the Pratt Institute. Papa's life was 50% work, 50% survival, because now he had to look out for himself, Mama, and my arrival. Coding in a language he knew better than English, he lived through his work that he would always finish before he moved on to anything else. Perseverance was what pulled Pop up like a belt towards greatness, but it was never seamless. At night, Mama would weep from the pain I was causing, the physical strain, the emotional tossing from side to side. I would explore the countryside of my mother's womb, as she would try to fit in a few hours of sleep so she could learn the next day in the classroom, and I continued to free ride with her as my guide. But Mama and Papa would never break their stride. They worked day and night through tears and through fights, frightened that it won't be alright, but they stuck together, not for their sake, but for me, so that I could have a future that was free from the chains that tied them down, the weights that kept them on the ground. But they were stronger than what pushed them back. A new language, a new country, new people, and monthly bills and bills and bills that were coming faster than their financial drum that was drumming, just like a metronome they kept on keeping. No matter the rhythm of life that was beating and leaping from side to side, Mama and Pop kept their pride. They broke walls, they crossed mountains, and they still smiled, all for one reason: to provide a better life for their child. When the day finally came that Mama and I were separated, integrated was I into this new environment. For Mama, it was relief. For me, it was disbelief. That was the last day of my physical connection, but the first of emotional affection to you. Dear Mom, it was you who put headphones on your stomach when you were pregnant with me so I could listen to Mozart when I was still just a pig. It was you who held me when I cried every night, every time I was afraid of no light. You made it all right. It was you who taught me Russian before English, how to say thank you before please, and what unconditional love is. But I only started to realize the depths of your love when life became a little harder. When I started to get the pains, head, neck, and back, I always came back to you, because you always had the best advice, the best remedy, the best medicine for me. Your soothing voice, the warmth of your hugs, and your relentless drive to find a cure for whatever I had cured me. A dozen doctors and acupuncturists, 5 physical therapists, and a chock full of massage specialists later, I am better. I am better because you taught me that ultimately only I can impact change on myself and try to better oneself. I have to be a go-getter. I have to stand tall on my own and fall, and get back up again and try again. A lesson no other human being could have taught me. Because no other human falls when I fall, see? No other human being weeps when I weep, hurts when I hurt, bleeds when I bleed. And high school was a whirlwind of tests, comparison of who is better than the rest, an assessment in arrogance, a triathlon of grit, exploration, and embarrassment. Through it all, you were my anchor, and you taught me to stay grounded and stay unique and never retreat. All the mistakes I made, you were the whiteout. The stones I thought I left unturned, you turned them over. The ditches I dug for myself, you covered and filled to the brim with every little pebble of care you had in you. Bamboo will never grow as strong as you, Mama. But you question yourself, whether you brought me up correctly, whether it is better to be a helicopter mom or to sit back and see what I could have done without you. But see, that is stupid, because without you flying above me, I would never have learned to fly, and fly alone. But I have grown to understand that I must be my own pilot through all types of climates. You have taught me to adapt, to mold, but to hold on to what is gold. You, Mama, are what is gold to me. So the lessons that you've shared will always stay and be a part of who I am. We will always walk, talk, and live hand in hand. And Pop, you played a different role than Mom. A role just as infinitely important, establishing security and calm in a household thousands of miles away from what you were used to. It all confused you at first, but you held everything down. You were the first man that I ever literally looked up to, and will always be the first person I come to for advice. Nothing will ever suffice as a thank you for all the things you have taught me. Your worldview became my worldview. You were my mentor, my teacher, my Winnie Pooh. It was you that sat down on the floor and watched me pluck the first note on a guitar string softly. And then every day after that, you would sit back down in the same spot and promptly watch my progress. It was you that showed me the love of my life, music. It was with you that I had my first jam YouTube it. It was you that helped me build my first Lego set before I could even read yet. But as I grew, so did the lessons that came from you. You taught me to be organized with things that matter, like personal finance, which is the ladder to help one climb through life faster and reach a comfortable lifestyle. Meanwhile, pursuing a passion and loving your work, letting your work love you, because finding joy in it is the most beautiful thing. And that's why you are the king of showing, not telling, doing, not dwelling. You taught me by example, and sometimes you taught by your own mistakes. But that's what it takes, I guess. That I take the best from you and incorporate it into my attitude, my outlook, and build on your weaknesses. So thank you, Pop, for showing me the wrongs. Because now, what's right looks more strong. And it was you who taught me to build on my talents, take advantage of what I have, and create a balance of doing what I have to and doing what I love. It was never always rainbows. It often came to push and shove. We are different, you and me. But that's the beauty in our harmony. That sometimes we are atonal, sometimes you and me are off key. But that's what makes a song pretty. I would have nothing to learn if you and me were the same. So thank you for taking me out of my comfort zone, testing me and pushing me to find my own limits and break them for the sake of knowing what's beyond the fence, exploring uncharted territory, and always learning. No other father could have done what you've done, preparing me with hard love to go to 101, to be better than the best, and to not settle for less. You're my 100 that I plan on one-upping. On January 23rd, 2014, I completed 6,570 days on Earth. For what it's worth, I came from thumb-sucking, finger-picking, crawling, kicking, and screaming to this refined, packaged, and designed version of my younger self, prepared to walk onto a new stage, but now without a walker and someone to hold my hand. This metamorphosis from 18 months to 18 years was, so to speak, invisible. A fluid stream of growing up, indivisible, even with labels toddler, tween, teen, adolescent. It seemed so natural, so gradual in essence. But somewhere along the line it hit me that in a short while I'm going to be on my own, flying for the first time in ocean blue. But I have the right tools to keep me on course thanks to you, Mom and Dad. I will fly high, but I'll always fly back to home. I love you, Mom.